Yoma Daf Samachalov. Today's email comes from Mendel Mitz from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and he says, today's Daf Samachalov, which means that we are 60 Daf in the Masechta Yoma, so that itself is a big simcha. You said at the beginning of the Masechta that if someone just started Daf Yomi and keeps it up for 60 consecutive days, then they should be hooked on for life. Yes, I stick to it. So Mazel Tov to the people who started Masechta Yoma with us and who are still with us now, including the people who got their free Arsha Gemaras. Keep it up. Absolutely. It's easy to create a new habit, a good one or a bad one, unfortunately, and this is a great habit. It takes 30 to 60 days. You should be going strong now. It's been a pleasure doing the daf with you every day from the beginning of brachas, and I look forward to continue dafing with you and the entire MDY family until Bias Yahrtzeit and beyond. May the Avigdor bench you with all that you need and want, both beruchnius and begashmius in every area of life. And may He give you the strength to continue being Marbas Torah and being Mekarev Yidden and being Misachad Yidden from all walks of Yiddishkeit. Amen. Your loyal YouTube share watcher and MDY representative, all the way from Buenos Aires, Argentina, yours sincerely, Mendel Mitz, Yishkoyach Gadol Mendel. Yoma Daf Samachalov, yes, 60 Daf into the Masechta. The Gemara tells, according to Rabbi Yehuda, we learn that if somebody is Tamei Tumas Migdash, he's Tamei and he performs that Avodah, he goes into the Beis HaMikdash, it doesn't matter where. We learn from a pasuk 4 different areas. There's Kodesh HaKadoshim, and this is all without having a idea, a knowledge of the Tumah at the end. If he goes into the Heichal, the pasuk tells us he gets the Kapara, the Mizbeach, and the Azaris. In all these areas we learn from the pasuk, Chiper es Migdash HaKodesh. And the rest of the pasuk, different words tell us the different limudim. All other aveiros, if you're a kohen, it says hakoyahanim. If you're a Yisrael, it says amakahal. And if you're a Levi, it says yichaper. We learn everybody achieves a kapara for all aveiros and for the tumas mikdash v'kedashim. According to Reb Shimon, the blood of the sar inside the kodesh v'kedashim is chaper klai Yisrael for tumas mikdash v'kedashim. The vidui that the kohen gadol does on the goat is for the rest of the affairs of Klal Yisrael. The blood of the bull inside the Kodesh HaKadoshim is for the Tumas Mikdash HaKadoshim of Kohanim only, and the video of the bull is for all the affairs of the Kohanim. Now we have a big machlokes. Since we see from this pasuk that Kodesh HaKadoshim is an individual area, Heichal, Mizbeach, they're all different areas. Each one requires a kapara by itself. Therefore, if the blood spilled in Kodesh HaKadoshim, you must start over within the Kodesh HaKadoshim. If the blood spills in the Heichal, you already finished with Kodesh HaKadoshim, you already achieved your kapara, now you just start over from the beginning of the Heichal. If the blood spilled at the end of Kodesh HaKadoshim, in other words, you did all your Avodah, or the end of the Heichal, you continue on to the next stage. According to Rabbi Elazar Reb Shimon, you must continue from the spot that you finished off, where the blood spilled. So if you accomplish 4 hazais, and then the blood spilled, you continue 5, 6, 7. According to everybody, if the blood spills after the avodah on the mizbeach, that's already shirayim, leftover blood, and that's not ma'akiv if it spills. What's the source of the machlokes? The machlokes says, because it says in the pasuk midam chatos. What does the word chatos mean? Chatos could mean a carbon chatos, and only one you could do, or it means chitui, to do hazah, only one hazah. So let's say you spill the blood, so you bring another carbon, you spill the blood again, you bring another one, so now you're dealing with 3 carbonas. What exactly do you do with those carbonas? So according to Elazar Reb Shimon, all the 3 have to be burned and they're brought to burnt to Beis Hadeshen, and the kohen who brings it to the Beis Hadeshen, he becomes tamei, his clothing becomes tamei. But according to Chacham, it's only the final carbon that's burned in Beis Hadeshen, and that's the one that's Matami Yibgadon. Why? Because that's the one that achieved the kapara. Now, the same exact machlokes that we have here, we have by a mitzvah. Mitzvah, instead of blood, blood also, we use oil. And if the oil of the mitzvah is spilled in the heichal and by his thumbs, so you start from the beginning, each one is another stage. According to everybody though, the oil that goes on the head is not ma'akiv, because the Torah calls it noisar from the yeser. In other words, it's shirayim of shirayim, and that's not ma'akiv. When the kohen shechs a asham mitzvah, and he had in mind that it shouldn't be for the asham, it should be for noila. So according to one man, he messes up this mitzvah for life, that person remains a mitzvah. Rabbi Yochanan says that according to Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Shimon, that you start from the spot that you finished. In other words, the avodah that you did on the thumb is considered a good avodah, and you just have to continue from that point on. So this mitzvah doesn't have a way out of this forever, because it says in the pasuk keves echad ashan. You can only do one keves and not two. And since you already started and you accomplished that, so you cannot bring another keves, and he doesn't have a kapara forever. But according to a mayor, that whatever he did is nothing, and you start all the way from the beginning, so this mitzvah could just start again and bring another carbon. According to Rav Chizda, even a mayor holds that he doesn't have it takana forever, because it says oisai, you only get one shot at it, one carbon. And the brayso that says you need to bring another carbon to be machshir, it doesn't mean that you actually bring another one. It means you need to bring one, but you can't. There's no takana. Just like we say by a nazir who's bald. According to Beis Shammai, you have to take a razor blade and put it over his head, his bald head. But it doesn't mean that you do so. It just means you would have to, and there's no takana. But according to Beis Hillel, you don't need to bring a blade over his head. And according to Rabbi Das, the pshat of Beis Shammai means that you do take a blade and you just go through the motion, you put it over his bald head, even though he doesn't have any hair. Just like Rabbi Elazar holds that you take oil and put it on a mitzvah. If he doesn't have a thumb, you put it on the spot where he used to have a thumb. According to the Tanna Kama, this mitzvah doesn't have a way out of this for the rest of his life. According to Rabbi Shimon, you take the oil and you put it on his left thumb. The Hasham mitzvah requires two kohanim. One to receive the blood in a kli, and he takes that kli and he brings the mizbeach to do this rikah mizbeach. The second one is the kohen takes the blood with his hand. The second kohen takes the blood with his hand, receives it with his hand, and he uses it to put it on the mitzvah himself. Have a wonderful day.